heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So I made a healer character so that we could take a look at our friend Constantine. So let's get this party started. So where all work can you get to Constantine Ally? It comes from the second patrol. So it is one of the rewards you get from completing the second patrol in this universe online. So you can decide to get the ally by playing the patrol for 20 days, or you can simply use the buyout option and just buy the ally. The choice is yours. It is a 10-star ally, and sadly, even if you decide to use the buyout option, even if you pay to get the ally, you will still need to rank it up. So here we can see the compatibilities of our friend Constantine. So it will give a buff to allies, it will boost their defense, their might, and their precision, and it will do damage to enemies, and it will also knock them back. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. The first passive ability will grant a shield to your character when you use a stat buff trinket, and it will also restore power to your character. I often use a shield in my loadout, but I guess you could use this instead of using a shield if you need, let's say, an extra power in your loadout as opposed to having a shield. But that is assuming that you have room in your belt for a stat buff trinket. Sadly, with all the pets, the orbital strike, the supply drop, it's possible that maybe you don't have room for a stat buff trinket in your belt, but this way the trinket has multiple purposes. It does give you a boost to your stats, but also it does give you a nice shield to protect your character and also give power back to your character. And the second ability is an ability that is specifically for healers. Even worse, it is for healers that uses a healing field with their character. Sadly, electric healers do not have a healing field, so you cannot use the ability with an electric character. So you can see the stats here, the defense, the might, and precision it'll give to your allies. So if we take a quick look at what our ally looks like, so we summon our friend Constantine. There's a nice animation when we summon him. Sometimes he'll play a boombox when we summon him, sometimes not. Then usually he'll do a little magic trick to entertain us, I suppose. And then once he's done, he leaves again with a nice animation. And if we take a look at Constantine in battle, don't be a foolish fool like I was. Like the first time I used a trinket, I was way too far from the enemies. Like you can see, they're just out of reach from Constantine's ability. Even though the ability is quite, I scored a big range, I still managed to summon them too far from enemies. If you do that, sadly nothing will happen. So make sure that your friend Constantine will be close enough to enemies in order to be able to affect them. Or again, make sure that he's close enough also to your friends to be able to give them a buff. So you can see he knocks back enemies, which can be useful in some circumstances. Sadly, sometimes also, when you try to control the field of battle, when you try to keep the enemies in a certain spot, sadly this will work against you. So you will have to be careful on if or when you summon your friend Constantine. And now if we take a look at the passive abilities. So the first passive ability works with a combat trinket, whether it's the DPS trinket or the healer trinket. It doesn't matter, it will work either way. So when you activate your trinket, it gives you also a nice shield. Again, that will protect your character, and that will give power back also to your character. So it will give you an extra shield ability if you want to, or if you usually use a shield ability in your loadout, it will allow you to be able to free up a space in your loadout and put it in your utility belt instead, assuming that you have room in your utility belt. So it's a nice, and visually, I have to give this to the devs, visually the ability looks really cool. We have to admit, they did a really good job with the visual effects for the abilities for our friend Constantine. And if we take a look at the second ability for our friend Constantine, so as I did mention, you need a healing field ability in order to be able to trigger the ability. And sadly, electric healers do not have a healing field. So you will have to play a healer character, and sadly, you will have to play a healer character that is not electric healer. It's sad, but that's how it is. I would kind of guess that they seem to have made this ally specifically for sorcery characters, but again, it's pretty much for any healer characters except for electric. Obviously, there are some abilities like the shield that you can use with any characters, doesn't matter if you're a hero or not. But it feels like they made this ally with sorcery characters in mind. Although Constantine being a sorcerer, it does make some kind of sense. So we can get our friend Constantine from the New Patrol. If you need more information about the New Patrol, I made a couple of videos about it. I'll put a link to those videos in the description down below.
Sorry if I'm looking a bit frowsy. Had a rough night.
So if you were waiting and waiting for a new ally, and especially if you were waiting and waiting for the Constantine ally, now is the time to do the happy dance.